Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. Another paid request. This time for Edward. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the South Park Season 16, Episodes 13 and 14, which ends the season of 16. Now, this season, I don't know, it has good points. I'm not sure how it compared with the other seasons. Like, these two were okay. Like, episode 13, pretty much Jesus has come to find out that he had HGH and that he was high during the crucifixion, so people are mad that he didn't suffer for our sins. So now the What Would Jesus Do bracelets, everyone's taking them off except Stan. And then people are pissed that Stan didn't take his off. And they're like, well, we can't tolerate deities who perform miracles with drugs. Why are you not taking yours off? What about this, this, and this? And Stan goes, I don't know. I just like it. And it gets to the sort of holier-than-thou attitudes about certain things where this is around the time Lance Armstrong, you know, he had won all these races, but it was found out that he was taking performance enhancement drugs. So people very, very much up in arms in that. I guess the idea is, well, okay, but well, did it help in the long run in terms of, did it inspire people? Did it do this and that? And that's what we should really take from it. Not so much the other stuff. But pretty much Stan holding his ground, and then he becomes a cause. So, you know, there's farmers in this one country and other people that, oh, I want to be like that one kid because he decided to be independent and stand up for himself. I do like the Nike commercial, because soon after Stan gets a Nike commercial, and the way that's done, the way that's filmed, does feel like a very serious Nike commercial. And the tagline, stand up, stand ground. I thought that was pretty funny. I like the way that was showcased, the way that was edited. They did to make it look like an actual Nike commercial. I stand for something. Stand up, stand ground. Until ultimately these officials are trying to screw him over, so then people don't believe in Stan anymore, and Stan goes, this is BS, something's going on. Although you get the idea that maybe he did at one point rip the bracelet off, but then glued it back together. But, you know, these people are trying to tear him down, so him going into this place and meeting up with Jesus, and both wanting to find info on this guy that screwed them over and gave them scandals. And it leads into probably the best part of the episode, where they'll look into these bracelets, since people are so gung-ho about these bracelets, and they go to this place that's very reminiscent of Dr. Seuss, where the person who owns the place calls it stars. And like, what the hell's that? Well, it's these bracelets I use to sell a cause. Sell a cause, aka stars. And the way it's done with the environment is very much like the Dr. Seuss books, and the person talks in all rhymes like a Dr. Seuss book, and about all the different causes that these bracelets are done for, and really just monetizing a good cause, but monetizing for beneficial profits that, okay, you don't really believe in a cause, you're just wondering about how much money you're going to get paid. This, like I say, it was an okay episode, mainly for those certain moments. The Nike commercial, the Dr. Seuss parody. I do like a little bit of Butters. Like, there's a point where he goes up to Stan and goes, you didn't really do that, did ya? Yeah, you too sneaky little butthole. Which I never thought Butters would say that type of line, let alone to Stan. But I thought that was pretty funny. But, I mean, I'm a big fan of Butters. pretty much the other characters, Cartman, the joke is that he has a shitload of bracelets. It's like, whatever. Kyle, the running bit is that he keeps wanting to ask Stan, so did you really break it and glue it back on? He won't let it go. Jesus wants to do some stuff to try to get his image better, but then the farms get fucked over, and then him and Stan are depressed, and they realize they've been hornswoggled by this bracelet company, and then they flip it back to the beginning, and Stan goes, what would Jesus do? I love the addition of the Rocky music. I'm a sucker for that. When you play that music, I'm a big Rocky fan, big Stallone fan. I love that music by Bill Conti. So you're playing bow down and then Jesus is getting more pissed and he's putting all this stuff together, the drink, and you try to find his HGH. He becomes really buff. He goes in and annihilates the whole Stars town that screwed over South Park. It took all their money, and now people are cheering, and now Jesus is back to the forefront of being popular again because he did this. It's definitely not the direction I thought it was going, but you do say that for a lot of South Park episodes. Maybe the message gets a little bit lost, that, but it's the same, I guess not, because Jesus literally says that, you know, about causes is about what you believe in here. Then a pause with my free t-shirts, you know, with my t-shirts, and so Jesus is on the bandwagon of selling the causes just like everybody else. So yeah, it was okay. I know it's based on Lance Armstrong. I'm just surprised they didn't actually mention Lance Armstrong and then just blatantly go with the Lance Armstrong's plot, because they've gone with other celebrities. So I'm just surprised they didn't touch on that. Cartman, I think, would have been nice to see him figure in a little bit more, other than just he has a lot of bracelets. But overall, yeah, I got some chuckles out of it. The Nike and the Dr. Seuss stuff in particular. And the episode 14 is a political one. I mean, it's literally called Obama Wins, where Cartman has stolen the ballots. The ballots showcase that was a Mitt Romney won, but because he stole the ballots, Obama won. Obama's working with the Chinese because this is around the time that Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney. And you kind of find out, which is pretty funny in retrospect, that China wants to get Star Wars because they want to protect it because, quote, China is afraid of what Disney might do, that Disney might not be the place for it. How fucking ironic is that? So, man, they were ahead of their time with that. The Disney might not be the place for Star Wars. Can't say they were wrong. Can't say they were wrong. And the reason Cartman stole these ballots is because he wants a part in the Star Wars movie. He wants to play Luke Skywalker's kid. And then Mickey Mouse makes an appearance. I do like when they make fun of Mickey Mouse and that little asshole. He comes in Boba Fett's ship and he's like, I own this shit, it's mine. Which I can imagine, you know, Mickey Mouse just being that type of guy. Nowadays. If he existed. So, I like them making fun of Disney. Anytime someone makes fun of Disney, another freckle is on my face. That's a joke to the episode where Morgan Freeman, not actually him, but, you know, his characterization of him comes in. Because, as they put it, if you need something explained, have Morgan Freeman do it. So again, Cartman wants the Chinese to give him a part in Star Wars, but then Mickey Rouse grabs him, and Carbon's like, okay, give me a tauntaun, give me a blaster, and let me be in the movie. Mickey Mouse says, oh, sure, of course, okay. Meanwhile, Kyle finds out what's going on, gets the other kiss, tries to find it, don't know where these ballots are. You kind of find out they're in a Humvee car dealership. I guess they're making fun of that Humvees. No one drives Humvees anymore. Which I guess not, but I mean, now I think about it, can't think of the last person that drove a Humvee. So I guess they had a point. I mean, anytime you have Mickey Mouse say a line like, I got tauntauns coming out my asshole. This was a fun episode. It was nice to see a steaming Cartman as well. I like the type of voice they gave. This smarter steamer of a Cartman. How he plays Kyle like a fiddle at the beginning. Where he's making fun of Kyle and gets him paranoid, but then he hides all the evidence or gets it away, so it makes Kyle look crazy. And the way he's steaming with all these other attributes. I thought that was a fun take on the character. Like I said, I like the voice they gave him in those times. Being a bit more easygoing. Not easy, but more sinister, smarter voice, if that makes sense. I do like the last time the Morgan Freeman's in it, he's explaining what's going on, that China wants Disney... China wants the Star Wars Disney, they want to protect it. And when Morgan Freeman's talking, the music is from... if it's not from Glory, it's a very close approximation of Glory. I thought that was a nice touch, because that score for Glory is great, so that was again a nice touch. And then by the end of it, the ballots show that Obama lost, but then the cops and the kids burn it because they prefer Star Wars being protected more than who's the president. So fine, Obama's president, but at least China will own Star Wars, they'll be safe. Of course that didn't happen, so instead Disney's with Star Wars, and Star Wars got completely fucking destroyed. So, they're right on the money on that. Also, I kind of appreciate the fact that they were kind of making fun of Obama as well. Because, whatever you think about Obama, he's kind of been put up as this perfect president, and nobody's perfect. And there's been no perfect president, so... But he's kind of put on the stature of being this perfect president when it's... Again, there's no such thing as a perfect president, so... I like that they took a little bit of the piss out of that. You know, he didn't really win and this and that, but... At the same time, the terrorization Obama is still a bit more respectful compared to other people they've had terrorized on the show, so... You know, they don't go too hard on Obama compared to like Mel Gibson or Ben Affleck or some of the other guys. So even then, if it's taking a piss, it's the very slightest of slightest. It's still very... There's nothing harsh or anything of the sort in that. Just this weird image that when the smoke is going up, there's a face of Obama in the smoke. Which was a bit weird, but it did make me smirk a bit. So I would say I liked that more than episode 13. But overall, they were both, you know, decent episodes. Maybe they could have gone a bit harder on Obama, like they do with other people and political folks. Like, look how much they went hard on, was it Al Gore? Environmental stuff, when then later on they had to apologize a little bit. So anyway, other than that, it's a fun bit of an episode. I do like the image of Carbon riding a Tauntaun with a blaster. I thought that was pretty cool. They made the Tauntaun look pretty good for this type of South Park style. And overall, like, it's always funny to have Mickey Mouse be the corporate asshole showcased in a couple of these episodes throughout the series. So it's always entertaining to see that aspect as well. And hey, they were right. Afraid of Disney might not be the place for it, and we see how that worked out. So go figure. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you guys later. Thanks once again, Edward. Take care.